Yo everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Steins Gate 0. So, last time we left off, we sent a D-RINE. And now we need to go back. I'm so glad I made this save to the what is considered the first real choice of the game. And I happened to save right before it because I didn't want to decide that episode. And I thought it was a good place to end the episode on. But regardless, the choice is, of course, you got a call from Kurisu. Answer the call. I don't think this alone actually makes the choice, makes the difference, I should say. However, try to think of the words. This is the choice. I should really turn my smartphone off until I calm down a little. That's fine just a moment ago, but even after Chris's voice. Of course, we don't... But basically what we need to do is not turn our phone off. Oh, we also got a new wallpaper. Let's quickly check what the wallpaper we got was. Oh, Amadeus wallpaper. Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's the only new one, I believe. Oh yeah. So now we continue onwards like normal. Just hit the skip. We got a line. Mad scientist, the world can be tricked. Connect the possibilities. Deceive the world. I like how there's nothing. I don't think he even mentions it at all. You got that line. Kind of weird, right? So now we continue on to X-Day Protocol. Okay, and we are back. So, last time we answered this call, and I believe Amadeus tipped us off that people were coming to get us. I believe. But this time, it's from Kurisu. Maho looked troubled. I didn't want Kurisu hearing this either. I didn't know what to do, and then I remembered the word line where I'd spent a month during wartime. I remember that Amadeus Kurisu had been used by the US military there. I still don't know what that meant. I stared at my phone screen. Should I answer it, or should I talk to Dao first? I was really surprised to see you two knew each other, though. I wasn't sure what to say when I saw you together at May Queen. Well, I figured it was quick, though. We both knew Kurisu, Master Kurisu. Figured it out quick. But Maho-tan, you said you weren't going to tell Ocarina about this. Did you change your mind? I'll be more accurate to say he figured it out for himself. Oh, I see. In case you've forgotten as well. they're talking about hacking into Kurisu's laptop. Daru nodded and grabbed some snack off the table to gobble down. I put the smartphone in my pocket. For now, I needed to focus on talking to Daru. So, what do you want to talk about? You know what I wanted to talk about. I'm here with Hyujo. Show me the laptop and hard drive that Kurisu left behind. Did he figure out the password? I have no idea. What do you mean? I'm trying to tell you one simple thing. Stop trying to analyze that laptop right now. There may be something lurking within that's so terrible that will plunge the entire world into chaos. Hey, are you listening? Get a grip, dude. So you're one of those, huh? No, I'm being serious. This isn't about Hoin Kiyoma. Call me Chunnubu, or however you say it. The Japanese, but they keep changing it to get a grip, dude. I have a grip! I slammed my hand down on the table. The shock was enough to cause one of the empty cans on the table to fall to the floor. Listen to me, okay? This involves Suzuha. Suzuha? You know what Suzuha's job is, right? Kurishiku? Oh, I forgot what that was. K. That's slang for shorten or give me details. Used when you want more information about something. See? Nakabayachi's paper. That was enough for Daru to understand. Seriously? I've been serious the whole time. I see. Well, I more or less assumed that was the case. Daru didn't say another word. He opened a locker, locked, fire-resistant case that was sitting in one of the racks. There was a laptop and hard drive hidden within. That's it. The laptop was a deep red Japanese model with a 12-inch LCD screen. The hard drive was American, from a brand known for equipping its drives with a shock-resistant rubber case. The laptop and hard drive that Kurisu left behind. Just to double check, you weren't able to break the security, right? Well, you know how hard it is. Know how I could get through my software. Don't do anything else with it. I've been paid already, though. He looked apologetically towards Maho. She was glaring at me. I asked this before, but what exactly are you hiding when it comes to Kurisu? Trying to learn the truth isn't always the answer. That's just what you think. You won't give me the information I need to make that choice. It's dangerous. You know you were just attacked, right? I don't want to be a coward who just hides behind her knight in shining armor. I'm a scientist. I want to know that I don't want to give up on trying to reach the truth, no matter how dangerous that might be. I just don't understand. If Kurisu were here, she'd probably say the same thing, wouldn't she? I started. Maho was right. I remember having the same conversation with Kurisu. It was when we were looking into Seren, I think. You're gonna have to tell her, man. Daru, Maho-tan doesn't look like anything you say is going to convince her. Yeah, it's not. It's probably more dangerous to be involved and not know what the deal is, right? Only if what you're saying is true, though. Daru, the point. At this rate, Maho could very well get herself in deep trouble without realizing what she's done. Just the fact that she was carrying Chris's belongings made her part of the Third World War, but she had no idea. That computer wasn't just something to remember an old friend by anymore. It was at the center of an international power struggle. Russian-speaking arsonists had forced their way into Chris's home in America. Afterwards, mysterious men claiming to be the FBI had searched Dr. Linskin's lab. This whole thing was on the verge of exploding. And the people like me were nothing in the face of a war between nations. It'll mean telling her about Suzuha. Are you okay with that, Dao? We don't have a choice, do we? I turned back towards Maho. Hi Joe, can you promise me one thing? You're a scientist and, I believe, a very logical person. Don't let your emotions lead you into doing something stupid. Don't do anything rash. Don't be like I once was. What I'm about to tell you is hard to believe. You may think it's impossible, but it's true, so get to the point. What is it you want me to promise? Don't get any ideas about saving Master Kurisu. What? Her mouth hung open, like she didn't understand what she just heard. Save Kurisu? If you can't promise that, I can't tell you anything. So what will it be? Does that mean it's possible that I could save her? You may think so, but I'm telling you right now, there isn't. What did I just say? I can't give you my answer until I've been given the information you need to decide. Tell me everything. I took a deep breath and began to tell her the story. I told her about the time machine, about Suzuha, about the Third World War, about how the relationship between Kurisu and about the relationship between Kurisu and Dr. Nakabachi, and that what was supposedly Dr. Nakabachi's theory was actually based off Kurisu's writings. I told her that the original copy of Kurisu's work might be hidden on her laptop or hard drive, and I told her that Russia and America might be fighting over it. As for how Kurisu died, I decided to skip that. Maho was silent the whole time I spoke, with a confused expression on her face. She looked like a girl who just graduated to middle school and was staring at a string of equations on a blackboard that were nothing like she'd ever seen before. Expressions didn't change even when I finished. Is this true? It's not made up? Maho asked Dao, not me. Yeah? You can't bring yourself to believe it? It's not that. It's just so different from what I was expecting that I'm having a hard time processing it. What were you expecting? I thought it might be about using Amadeus for military purposes. Military purposes? Kurisu spent a lot of time at the psychosociology lab. She said sometimes she'd been visited by people who looked like they didn't belong there at all. She said she thought they were from the Department of Defense, Russia, the FBI, and now the United States Department of Defense. This is getting even more suspicious. Can Amadeus kill someone? How? Well, for example, you could take the memories of a veteran pilot and copy them, then use them to control drones. And remember what I said about medical applications? You mean copying memory back into the brain? Yeah. I feel like I've already done this. It's been so long since I did this the first time around that I really can't remember what's the same and what's not. If you can alter the memory data, then send it back to the brain, you can make soldiers who don't feel fear or who could carry out any kind of unethical mission without hesitation. Whoa, sounds like a Hollywood movie. Did that mean reality had caught back up to books and movies? My thought was that Chris had found proof that they were running experiments like that. And that's why they went after her? Yeah. Mal picked up the laptop. It's read... Oh no, it is slightly different though, because this explanation was done in Ferris's hotel, right? I can't remember. Hotel room. Its red body was evidently made of some kind of magnesium alloy, and was a lot lighter than it looked. I never expected a time machine, though. Either way, we should destroy it immediately. Without looking to see what's inside? We don't know for sure that it's got what you're thinking about. It doesn't matter what's inside. As long as it still exists, it could start a war. She still didn't seem satisfied. But it's proof that Kurisu was alive once. It's what she left to us. You can't just get rid of it. If you learn what's inside of it, they might come after you next. That's true, but if this wasn't working, maybe I need to try another approach. Surely, you asked Kurisu about the password, right? Amadeus? Of course, it was the first thing I tried. But it didn't work, right? Maho nodded. That's strange, right? Normally she'd know. But the Amadeus, Kurisu, didn't know what it was. There's only one possibility then. Kurisu had changed the password without Amadeus knowing. Why do you think she did that? Isn't it because she didn't want anyone knowing what it was? Let's not dig up the graves of the dead, okay? Dig up her grave? It's not like that. I'm sorry, you're right. Maybe I'm getting too obsessed with Kurisu. I know you really care about her, but you shouldn't get involved with this. This might not be Pandora's box. It might be the gate to hell. Get a grip, dude. Would you stop? Mao hugged the laptop tight to her chest and sighed. Alright, Okabe. I understand what's going on. I still haven't finished getting it all straight in my head, though. I'll get rid of this laptop. Thanks. I was so glad she understood. You really are amazing. How do you figure that? A normal person would have just refused to accept all this, or even if they didn't, they'd ask a ton of questions. You're giving me too much credit. Usually I wouldn't have even bothered refuting this. I wouldn't even listen. Normally science should never deny any possibility, no matter how improbable. But we have a tendency to put too much faith in common sense and our own theories. Then why is it different this time? Because Masuke Kurisu is involved. Maho's smile was bitter. Time travel theory? A time leap machine? You're joking, that's impossible. But it wouldn't be impossible for Kurisu. She'd always be the one who'd prove that everything I thought I knew was wrong. I see. That's right, her Amadeus login ID was Celery. I almost said that, but stopped myself. It seemed to me that like the ID held some kind of gloomy meaning to her as a scientist. So what about my pay? I actually already used all the money Mahotan gave me to reserve this month's H Games. You're terrible. That's what I do this job for. It's fine, I won't ask for the money back. I didn't expect much when I asked you anyway. Just to be clear, another 3 days and I would have cracked the password. Totes serious. Slang, meaning seriously or really. Sure, whatever. Maho smiled and turned back to me. By the way, I want to see proof of this. Proof? You got it somewhere, right? This time machine? And I want to talk to Suzuha too. Well, I don't know about that. Dao had agreed to it, but still, I told Maho about the time machine without asking Suzuha. We'd just gone into a fight, and I really don't want to bring this up with her. But even showing Maho the time machine would mean I'd need to get Suzuha's permission, and that made it difficult. Dao, why don't you talk to Suzuha for me instead? Before I could finish my sentence, the intercom on the desk beeped. What was it? I'm busy now. His tone was the same as ever, but I didn't miss the sudden flash of tension across Dao's face. I've got a bad feeling about this. Hello, is something wrong? Dao flipped through several channels on his security monitor, as he continued to talk on the phone. Why? I'm sorry, but why is it like every time Mao has an expression, it's always the same? That was awesome. All 6 monitors had been displaying the interior of the store, but now they showed the entrance to the building, the emergency exit, the corridors, the elevator halls, and the emergency stairs. So he had cameras not just inside the building, but outside of it too? But there was no time to be impressed. The images were covered in white, snowy static, but I could see strange figures on the screen. Who are these guys? The entrance to the building, the 1st floor elevator hall, the 7th floor elevator hall, the 7th floor emergency stairs, and in front of the cosplay shop. There had been nothing there a moment ago, but now there were 4 men standing in each of these 5 places. They were silent and did not speak to another. There was around 20 of them in all. Some were wearing suits, others typical Akibara fashion, yet others were wearing military camo. Individually, no one would really stand out in Akibara, but the fact that so many people had all come to this lonely building at once seemed terrifying. Okie dokie, I'm abandoning this location. You'll bail out when you get a chance too. See you. Evidently, he'd been talking to the man on the front counter. He put down the intercom and looked at us. So yeah, we get out of here. What? Dell pulled out a backpack and began tossing hard drives, memory cards and other pieces of equipment into it. I'll take the laptop too, please. Mao stood there, blinking, as she handed him Chris's laptop and hard drive. Hey, who are these people? Are they after Chris's PC? Couldn't say. I cause a lot of trouble. This has happened before. Well, that's why I keep this job a secret. Seriously? Dell took the laptop and hard drive back from Maho, threw them into the backpack, and slid it onto his back. How are we getting out of here, anyway? They're standing right outside the door. It's a shame, because I like this place. Finding time to say goodbye, huh? Despite his tone, his expression was still serious. He walked to the corner of the room. There was a life-size poster of a golden-haired Bocalo stuck on the wall. The name of a DTM, desktop music software for home computers that allows the creation of an artificial singing voice. Excuse me, Rintan. Dao carefully took the poster off the wall, making sure not to damage it. There was a glass door hidden behind it, which led out to a concrete veranda. This way. Wait, that's how he was going to escape? But this was the 7th floor, right? There wasn't any time to worry about it. Dao went out the veranda without bothering to wait for us. I pushed Maho forward and urged her to go ahead of me. The veranda was filled with junk, just like the inside. The floor was covered with old PC and monitors, as well as an old arcade games that had been clearly broken. There was barely any place to stand. But that meant as long as you ducked down a little, there was probably no way you could be seen from outside. Maybe he set up this deliberately so he can use it in case of an emergency. From there, we escaped like we were in a spy movie. We removed the board that connected this veranda to the next one, moved down to the room at the edge of the building, and then used the emergency ladder to get to the 2nd floor. It was an empty space that Dao rented with some of his acquaintances, and we were able to use the bathroom to escape to an unused room in the next building. My blood ran cold when Dao got a call from the men in front of the cosplay shop had broken in. Dao had got a call that the men in front of the cosplay shop had broken in. From there, we planned to escape from the next building's emergency exit. The emergency exit led out to a different alleyway than the one originally came in, so in theory they shouldn't have been able to find us. But we were naive. The narrow alleyway between buildings was dark and deserted. They were waiting for us there, as if they'd known exactly where we were going. We were caught off guard, and before we could run, one of them grabbed Maho. And then there were no And then there was no way for us to resist. They grabbed down on me, twisted our arms behind our backs, and slammed us into the ground. But it wasn't the group who had attacked us in the building. They were all wearing full face masks, motorcycle suits, and leather jackets. One of them, the girl holding Maho, was clearly a woman. The other, there was only one woman I knew who attacked us while dressed like that. Don't yell, do what we tell you. I was right, I knew that voice. I could tell, even with her helmet hiding her face. Otherwise, she's dead. She held Maho with her left arm and took out a military knife with her right. She put a knife up to Maho's throat. Don't do it! The horrible memories came flooding back to me. Whether it happened in a different world line or not, the merciless voice had been that had taken Mayu from me was right here. Shia Mayuri is not needed. I gritted my teeth so hard it hurt and glared at the woman in the motorcycle suit. I'll give you what I want, so don't do it. I forced myself to speak, and the woman in the motorcycle suit took the knife away from Maho's neck. She handled her over to one of the other men. And then she took off her helmet. Oh hey, it is her. You're Kurisu Mocha, so it was you after all. Where is it? Her eyes were completely devoid of emotion, just like they were on August 13th. I was forced off the ground by one of the others, but my arms were still twisted upwards. I tried as hard as I could not to scream from pain. First, let go of my hand. I can't talk like this. Mocha silently nodded to the other man. The hand that was holding me drew back. I could finally move again. Dao was released too, and he stood up mumbling something. But Maho was still in their hands. I'll trade it for Dr. Hyojo. Dao, give me your backpack. Oh, right. Dao was about to take off his backpack. Don't do it. Don't give it to her. Hyojo, stay quiet. She will kill you, and that's not a threat. Would Kurisu be happy if you died over her paper? Maho looked like a small child on the verge of tears. So I want... it's confusing, because could this be 7? Because they keep talking about America and Russia, but the initial space race, time machine race, was between Europe and Russia. Of course, Europe involves 7, or includes 7. She glared at Mocha. I took the laptop and hard drive out of the backpack. This is it? Hand me the backpack too. Let Hyojo go first. She didn't respond. Fine then. I'll have to bluff. If you want the password to decrypt it, don't think about cheating us. I put the 2 items back in the backpack and handed it over to her. It was all I could do to keep my voice from quaking. No one could boot this thing without the right password. Hackers all around the world have tried and failed. I'll tell you, once our safety is guaranteed, I don't want to get killed the moment we hand it over. Of course, I had no idea what the password was. If they found out, we were doomed. Dao was giving me a questioning glance. I ignored it. Keep your damn mouth shut, Dao. You're right. Alright, she fell for it. That meant... Then one of you is coming with me. Huh? We'll let 2 of you go immediately. If the password is correct, we'll let the other one go as well. Damn, that's not good enough. No, we can't be sure the one who stays will be safe. Then all 3 of you will come with us. This woman. I could feel cold sweat on my back. I'd never been involved in a life or death deal before, and I had no idea what to do next. Ashida Itaru, come this way. What? Me? We told you're a specialist. Bring the backpack over here. No, if you come, we'll leave the other two here. Wait, then I'll go. That's fine, right? My superiors told me nothing about you. I can't even say if you really know the password. Damn, she saw through me. Mocha put the knife back to Maho's neck. Hashida Itaru, come quickly. I rather heard that line said in a more erotic situation. Daru was joking, but his whole body was shaking. What do I do? They were going to kill Daru. I thought as fast and as hard as I could, but nothing came to me. In this world line, Daru was going to live until 2036, and complete the time machine. That much was clear from Suzuha's testimony. If the world line were going to converge, even if Mocha took Daru here, he wouldn't be killed. Right? No, but that didn't mean I couldn't leave him here. One of the men with Mocha was looking at his watch. She noticed it too. They might have felt like they were taking too much time with the kidnapping done in broad daylight. I hoped that someone might wander by, but there was no way. But there was no counting on that stroke of luck. I needed to solve this for myself instead of relying on others. Do you need to kill someone first? I felt a cold knife pressed hard against my carotid artery. Oh, green! Daru and Maho was screaming, but suddenly it all seemed unreal, like I was taking place in a distant world. They say that what happens whenever someone is confronted with their own death, and it was happening to me now. I can't die either way, right? I tried asking myself that. I tried asking Suza, even though she wasn't here. I tried asking the world. Of course, nobody answered. The fact that I might not die didn't mean I couldn't... the fact that I might not die didn't mean I could do something stupid here. A normal college kid like me would be too scared to move once they had a knife to their neck. I'd seen people die many times, and I'd almost been killed, but I never did get used to it. Thoughts of Chris's blood came back to my mind, and I almost suffered a flashback. My body shook, and it was all I could do to keep it from collapsing to the ground. Was there nothing else I could do? Just when I was about to give up, a black van pulled up and... Wait, just as I was about to give up, a black van pulled up and braked hard at the end of the alleyway, blocking us in. The sliding doors opened and out poured men carrying assault rifles. They were all wearing grey military uniform and face masks. Their eyes were just the eyes of trained soldiers. From their huge frames and the colour of their skin, it was clear they weren't Japanese. I immediately realised that this was all real. It wasn't cosplay or anything like that. These guns were real, and a battle was about to begin. My experience with the August 13th attack and the war zone I had lived in only a few days ago came back to me. Everyone hide! It didn't matter who was friend or foe. Mocha moved the instant I spoke. She saw the attackers and jumped into the shadow of a nearby building. The other rounders spread it out too. They let go of Maho, who was standing up, confused in the middle of the alleyway. Maho, get down! The man who was holding me was the only one who reacted a bit too slowly. There was a sharp noise, and a bullet went through the helmet of the rounder who was holding a knife to my throat. And he went down. As he went down, I went down with him and hit the ground hard. The impact made me let go of Daru's backpack. One of the rounders grabbed it off the ground and ran in the opposite direction of the van. A man got out of the van, evidently the commander, and barked orders in what sounded like Russian. One of the soldiers turned their gun at the fleeing rounder. Her body flew off the ground as both she and the backpack were torn open. The contents of the backpack fell to the ground, scattering across the asphalt. The laptop and hard drive were hit with more gunfire than possibly could have been necessary. Chris's laptop and hard drive were turned into an unrecognizable scrap in just a few seconds. I guess the Russians would want it destroyed because they already have Dr. Nakabayashi's papers already, or him himself. So they don't really want other people finding out. I crawled behind a light pole without even bothering to look. It really all happened in an instant. I looked around, and the rounded soldiers were running towards us. Mocha and the rounders had... Looked around, and the Russian soldiers were all running towards us. Mocha and her rounders had vanished at some point, leaving only the two bodies. The soldiers suddenly recovered the remains of the laptop and hard drive, picked up the bodies of the two rounders, and got right back in their van. They didn't even pause to look at us. There were only a couple of minutes between the time they arrived and when they left. All that were left were little fragments laying on the ground. The blood from two bodies. Maho, who was lying on the ground and shaking. Dao, who was standing in shock behind one of the buildings. And me, lying on the ground. My heart had been pounding the whole time. I only felt the pain in my neck after it was all over. Evidently the knife had cut me a little when where I'd fallen. A while later, we finally heard the sirens of a police car. It was only then that I remembered that I was in Akibara, Japan. The Third World War may have started long ago, and we just didn't know it. I realized that in the face of a war between nations, we truly were powerless. And this is where I'm going to end this episode. Things are definitely different after not being given the intel from Amadeus beforehand. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye!